Well, I come from a Mexican and Puerto Rican family. And so, as I tell people, I was born in Chicago. That is a community where there are a number of Puerto Ricans and Mexicans together. Very shortly after I was born, my family relocated to Southern California, and I grew up in Northeast Los Angeles. I went to Yale University and received my undergraduate, my MDiv, and my JD from Yale. I went from there back to California, and I was an attorney, a civil litigator, for just about 25 years or so. Then I went into full-time church service. I sort of looked to the prophet Jeremiah as sort of the parallel of sorts to my life. At the age of 5, I wanted to be a minister. At the age of 12, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then at the age of 19, I decided that I would try to do both. My religious education was really meant to be a discovery and discernment of values, and that law is the implementation of those values. I originally had been a candidate under care of my home presbytery, and it was a time, as I refer to it, of great constitutional unpleasantness related to LGBTQ inclusion in the life of the church. And my presbytery, about 10 years after my candidacy began, opted to remove me from the list of candidates. I then sort of shifted gears, and I was ordained as a ruling elder by my then home congregation in South Pasadena, California. What was fascinating to me was that the lessons that I had learned as a lawyer, those lessons I found myself having to go back time and time and time again in my service as a mid-council executive. I suddenly realized that that had been God's plan all along. I think that the challenges that the PCUSA is facing today are challenges that are being faced across Christendom in America. The secularization of our society, the lack of the generational transfer of church membership and involvement between boomers and the subsequent generations. I think the fact that society as a whole has scheduled daily activity, including Sunday mornings, which used to be sacrosanct. There's just a whole range of challenges that do not make church life easy. What I think that Presbyterianism brings to the table, though, is that we depart from those major negatives that younger generations look at Christendom and sort of label. They label Christendom as 3 things according to the Barna research on unchurched. They label them as greedy, as hypocritical, and as homophobic. And the Presbyterian Church is none of those 3 things. We depart from that stereotype of what it means to be a Christian. What is important for us is that we need to live up to our unique Reformed view of what a church is and should be, and how we seek to be faithful to Jesus Christ, living out a gospel that is welcoming, inclusive, wants to change the world for the better. My hope and prayer is that my ministry is directed toward promoting and living those ends. I can't tell you the number of times I go out to churches, sometimes in very isolated areas or small towns, rural counties, and I experience people who enjoy being together. I went to one church recently in a small town, and I got a chance to meet this young boy, age 8, who was originally a foster child. And that young boy made a point of engaging me and welcoming me, just like any of the other adults in this congregation. It was very clear he was reflecting the culture of that congregation as a small little boy. When I left that congregation, he made a point of coming up to me and giving me a hug and telling me that he hoped that I would see him again. If it filters down to that level, oh gosh, it's great. We're going to have a good time together. I think some of the challenges we are faced are challenges, again, that are more universal. This is an area of the country where there are some very, very, very deep divides. And I think in the realm of secular politics, that's very much apparent. And those divides from secular politics and the way that they sometimes seep into our church life can be very divisive. My hope and prayer is that we can meet that challenge by doing what we do so well, like that little boy did. And that is to be gracious and to be welcoming. And that we can respect the fact that different views may be held, but we are all one in Christ. And nothing changes that. It's important to realize that the church and its session really do control their life together and what they want. Do they want to maintain a living spiritual witness in the various places where they may be located? In the 19 counties of Salem Presbytery, we have at least one congregation that has a strength, a witness, a graciousness, a warmth, a welcome, a mission that keeps it going and is sustainable. I think it's important that going forward, the presbytery support what I am calling the anchor churches in those counties. We are graced now with having a Presbyterian witness in all 19 counties. And on my watch, I hope that that never changes, that we lose a county. It's very clear to me that there is a need for our brand of Christian witness everywhere. And if we can maintain that at the very least at the county level going forward, then I think we will be well positioned to continue on for the coming years. I think I would want everyone to know that I love congregational visits. I love the opportunity to meet the people of Salem Presbytery and in its congregations. And especially, I love meeting with sessions with fellow elders who are serving the church in unique and powerful ways. So please feel free to invite me to come and visit. I will do my level-headed best to try to accommodate in my busy calendar to meet you and to meet the folks in your church.